with billions of galaxies, stars, and spinning planets, we have come to realize that we are part of a much greater cosmos. We will explore cosmic and celestial phenomenon and ponder the possibilities that life on this planet has a spiritual connection to a higher source and a biological connection to cosmic beings from other realms and dimensions beyond our own. From astrobiology to astrology, quantum physics to metaphysics, mathematics to sacred geometry, observation to meditation, we will explore the spiritual and scientific significance of supernatural sights around the world. Hidden deep within the spiritual and religious beliefs of many cultures lies the eternal truth, as above, so below. On our fascinating journey, we will explore ancient legends, modern discoveries, and emerging truths about the spiraling creative forces that spun this creation into being. From spirituality to religion, superstring theory to the Big Bang, from gods and goddesses to angels and aliens, we will dive into the mysteries of creation. From red giants to black holes, nebula to supernova, quasars to pulsars, we will tune in to the concert in the cosmos. On this journey, we are in search of answers to the burning questions that have intrigued mankind for millennia. Who are we? Where did we come from? Why are we here? And where are we going? By merging scientific discoveries with spiritual revelations, we will explore the possibility that mind and matter are one and the same in a vibratory field of pure consciousness. What if this eternally expanding field of consciousness is of and from the same source? These revelations that we may actually share one mind in a unified field that expands into the cosmos has the potential to cause a powerful shift in the collective consciousness. This is a journey of self-discovery. And by engaging collectively in our global community, online, on-site, and at our scheduled events around the world, you can become an integral part of a global shift in conscious awareness. If together we open our minds to a new worldview, we can break through old paradigms and shatter limiting beliefs about who we truly are. Are our minds trapped inside of our physical brain? Or are our minds connected to one universal mind? Are we purely physical beings? Or are we spiritual beings having a physical experience? With these collective self-realizations, we can expand our human potential and tap into the universal mind. We can finally realize that we are both human and divine. With the power of the infinite spirit and the intelligence of the infinite mind, we will explore how the divine mind of the masculine and the creative spirit of the feminine may have lovingly merged to spin the forms of all living things into being. through the divine and creative principles, does biological creation emerge and flourish as an animating spirit descends and ascends in an evolutionary impulse? Is there a supernatural source of energy that flows through spiraling portals which become sacred and mysterious sites on planet Earth? Are these powerful portals made up of spinning atoms and vibrating strings that create these spiraling vortexes, causing supernatural phenomenon? Get ready to explore celestial phenomenon, paranormal anomalies, and multidimensionality in this presentation, Wilder Than Fiction. WTF? The bizarre dance of light and shadow.
Greetings, beloveds. It is always such an honor and privilege to be here among the children of light, gathered here in the magnificent Red Rock paradise of Sedona. I moved here a couple of years ago, and when I did, everything started to expand for me in so many directions. It's really a powerful place to be. And shortly after coming here, I started to really tune into my psychic awareness on a much deeper level. Usually I dive right into teachings when I present, but some people have encouraged me to share a little bit of my personal story before diving right in. I will be offering some teachings about the multidimensional realms of consciousness, and you'll also get a galactic activation. But I wanted to start just by talking about my background a bit, because it really starts way back in the 1950s when my father in Saskatchewan, Alberta, had a paranormal experience. He was driving through the plains of Saskatchewan with 3 of his buddies down a dirt road, and suddenly they realized that there was this big orange light that was following them, and then this light was way out in the field beyond. And then the light was in front of him. So my father, who was driving, decided to pull off to see if he could see this vehicle or this light pass by. And when he did, all of his friends were leaning against the car, and the next thing they knew, they were all sitting back in the car, looking at each other. Let's go. So they headed off, and as they drove away, they saw this orange light speed across the field, merge with another bigger white light, and then take off into space. So they drove to the nearest farmhouse, knocked on the door. The people who answered were really annoyed that these 4 guys were knocking on their door at midnight. They were shocked that it was midnight because they had left just 5 miles away at 8 o'clock in the evening. So when they got home, the only 2 that wanted to talk about it was my father and his best friend, Don Malstead. One of the guys was under the seat, really having a panic attack, and the other guy just never wanted to talk about it again. So when my father woke up the next day, he realized that he had a triangular-shaped metallic object under his wrist. Now, my father grew up in a small town, attended a 1-room schoolhouse. Shortly after this incident, he was hired by NCR, National Cash Register Company, and found himself designing and building cash registers, and soon being one of the pioneers for the computer technology industry. So my guess is that this incident was about being taken up and really advanced technology being downloaded. And I believe that my father's, what he called his alien ship, was a way for them to continue to download this information. Now, I understand that visitations from galactic beings can be generational. And so shortly before I was born, my parents moved to Mount Shasta. So I had the privilege of being born in Mount Shasta, and as a kid found myself playing in the woods in this area, and I had many invisible friends. They were invisible to other people, but I could clearly see these spirit beings everywhere, all around me, and I had names for them, and I could also see fairies in the trees, and even trolls. And believe it or not, one day this big black cat that we had at the time named Lucifer, actually brought home this little troll-looking man, to the horror of my mother, who ended up burying it in our backyard. But I kid you not, that actually happened. So Mount Shasta was a really phenomenal place to grow up. Then when I came to Sedona, things really started to expand. I live in Rimrock. Off the deck, we have seen many strange lights and experienced actually crafts. One day we saw a big mothership and a big bright light off to the ridge beyond. But I had a very interesting experience with a couple of friends who had already had experiences of being taken up. We went out on my deck, and we went out on the deck about 8 o'clock, and we were intentionally calling upon Arcturians. The next thing you know, we all felt dizzy, and then we just found ourselves standing on the deck looking at each other like, why are we still standing out here? We went inside and realized that it was 12:40 and that we had literally lost like 4 hours of time. When I went to a local psychic, she saw clearly that an Arcturian pod ship had landed in our backyard, and 3 Arcturians had got out and come up the stairs and taken each one of us down to their ship, and we were downloaded with advanced knowledge and advanced technology that would reveal itself over time. So that gives you kind of an idea of some of the experiences that I've had. I continue to develop my psychic abilities, tuning into spirit every day, and I typically get downloads at dawn. And at these times, I am shown my gifts, but I'm also clearly shown my mission. And one of the things that I developed was the ability to identify a person's whole soul. Now, there was a time when I woke up one morning and this voice was yelling at me, saying, your name is Anja. Your real name is Anja. The name of your eternal soul is Anja. So I was like, all right already. I went downstairs and I got a marker and I wrote out A-N-J-A, Anja. Later I looked it up, and it's an ancient Russian name meaning eternal grace. So I thought that was pretty phenomenal that it was telling you it was the name of my eternal soul, and it turned out to mean eternal grace. Understanding that we have an eternal soul that resides in the eternal now moment. And I believe this is actually a realm called the central universe, which is the only perfect settled universe. Settled in the eternal now moment. And all of the forms and things and beings are perfectly aligned with their divine blueprint. And that is each and every one of us here. Our eternal soul resides in this realm. And from this realm, we holographically project these multidimensional aspects of ourselves in these different dimensions. But we are still that one whole soul in the center, emanating these aspects of ourselves. And what I was shown is that one is always deity. One is source. It is source that infinitely provides this consciousness through the realm of eternity and expanding into the different dimensions in one divine out-breath, and in one divine in-breath, those souls are called home back to source. and that 2D is elemental. And 2D is where air, water, fire, earth, and all of the platonic solids, all of the building blocks, the fundamental patterns of creation are made, and that's what we are made from. And then we have the third dimension, earth, this earth plane, and where we are now. And then the dimensions 3D through 12D, which are 10 dimensions, are 10 light emanations that are encoded with our DNA imprints. And so as I started to do these multidimensional soul readings, and I was able to identify somebody's whole soul and who they were being in the third dimension through the 11th dimension, someone asked me, well, why do we care about this? And I said, you know what? I'm going to find out. Because I was thinking to myself, the reason I'm connecting people with those aspects of who they are is so they can become more whole. And that's true. And I'm sure that's a major intention of this gift I've been given. However, it can also raise your vibrational frequency as you tune into who you are in 4D, 5D, 6D. So it becomes more than just a soul reunion. It's a way for you to raise your vibrational frequency right here and now as you tune into those higher dimensional aspects of yourself. But then 3 mornings ago at dawn, I was shown that the light rays that emanate from all of these dimensions are encoded with our DNA. And so it became clear to me that in 3D, and we all know this, those of us who are familiar with DNA, we've all heard that only 10% of our brain is online, and that we use only 10% of our DNA, and the other 90% has been called junk DNA. And so I wondered about that, and I had heard that controlling creator gods who wanted to enslave us had intentionally turned off 90% of our DNA in order so that we could be their slaves and we would be very limited and not have the gifts of spirit. But I wanted to explore a concept that was more in divine order, where we weren't blaming evil creator gods for turning off our DNA. I wanted to explore why we only were using 10% of our DNA. And what Spirit showed me is that these 10 light emanations of who we are in dimensions 3D through 11D each express 10% of our total DNA. So in 3D, we are only expressing 10% of our total DNA encoding. But when we move into 4D, it's 20%. And when we move into 5D, it's 30%, and on, until we actually get to the 12th dimension where we can express the full 100% of our DNA encoding, because that is the realm of the divine perfect blueprints, the 12 Elohim, the 24 elders. So at that point, we come into 100% of our full DNA expression. But we don't have to wait for that. Right here and now, we can be tuned into who we are expressing in these higher dimensions. And in that way, we can activate those DNA codes, those divine DNA codes in each of these higher dimensions. And I have been shown how to do that. And so it's something I'm now offering. I had some validation about this when I watched a documentary by Caroline Corey, who was able to imprint intelligence on a DNA sample. And scientifically, they showed that when she did that, that DNA sample actually resonated at a much higher frequency. So this is a way that we can imprint higher intelligence, the higher dimensional aspects of who we are on our own DNA right here and now. We can affect the matter of our own physical beings in this way, and certainly our spiritual, mental, and emotional beings as well. So I think it's very empowering to learn that we can bring all of our brains online and that we can bring all of our DNA online too, just with the power of our intention, tuning into the multidimensional aspects of ourself. Now I'm going to offer a galactic activation.
We live in dynamic times when humanity is waking up to the implications of a greater transformation and the reality that we are part of a much greater consciousness universe. The keys of Enoch reveal the past, present, and future of life on our planet, and how our human nature is non-local and multi-dimensional, having vast capabilities and endowments of a divine birthright encoded within us that reveals how we are universal beings working within a higher evolutionary plan. Love from the higher levels is penetrating the planetary veils. From one of my favorite books of all time, The Book of Knowledge, Keys of Enoch by Dr. J.J. Hurtak. Get ready to go on a galactic adventure back to your soul's starry origin, returning to your home in the stars. We here on planet Earth have been seeded by many different star races from many different realms and dimensions. To incarnate on this earth plane, our souls must come through the firmament to be illuminated by the 13 rays of creation. 7 of these rays are necessary for the holographic projection of our beings on this earth plane. 5 secret rays illuminate our higher consciousness, and 1 13th ray activates our soul star Merkaba. What is your primary ray? What star seed DNA have you been encoded with? Even though we are an expression of our primary ray, we are expressing all 12 rays at once in the eternal now moment. Once our cycle of 12 rays has been complete, we spiral into the center as our whole soul is reunited in our eternal soul essence. With our essence genes activated, we ascend through the ascension portal into the next dimension. There are 7 rays of creation and 5 secret rays, and finally the 13th ray, which is the gateway home. Beyond this creation, into a new, higher dimensional experience of reality, into the next dimension. We are all multi-dimensional beings. We are star seeds from many different star systems in the galaxy. We are rainbow rays of light. Are you ready to create your rainbow bridge? Are you ready to astral travel to your place of origin in the stars? It's time to reveal your rays, explore your multi-dimensionality, and discover your starry origins.
Introducing your tour guide for this galactic adventure, Suzanne Ross.
Welcome to my presentation about multi-dimensional star seed ascension and part 1
which focuses on the teachings in the Bilgi Kitabi about the multidimensional realms of time, space, and beyond, as transmitted through the Alpha channel. According to the Alpha channel, each fetus bestowed on our planet is incarnated on our planet many times in order to complete its evolution. All the endeavors made are for being able to reach this boundary. Your planet is in the third dimension. The world evolution plan is subject to an evolution between the third and fourth dimensions. The fourth dimension has many stages as well. The first gate of Karina is the beginning of the fourth dimension. Its final gate is the end of the fifth dimension. In the fourth dimension, there are many different progresses and ranks. Each of them has special and different examinations. Transition from 4 to 5 is a matter of permission. You can deserve this permission by the ascension of consciousness. You are prepared for immortality in the fifth dimension. Here, there are 2 tranquil times and 5 supreme times. In the first tranquil time, you have become pure energy, a light, made up of colors in the form of the eye of your essence, as a prismatic appearance, your rainbow body of light. In the second tranquil time, you are engrafted with special energies as a preparation for the dimension of immortality. These energies are of the incombustible energy type. After you are satiated with these incombustible energies, you are gradually subjected to the procedure of embodiment in the dimension of the fifth supreme time. In the fourth supreme time, this procedure transforms itself to cellular brains. Each cell is like a mini computer. In the third supreme time, you attain universal consciousness, besides evolutionary consciousness. In the second supreme time, you gain the power of existence and mental power. The first supreme time is the final gate of Karina and is the birth into the dimension of immortality, the sixth dimension. From here, you step into the sixth dimension by the ascension of knowledge. In the sixth dimension, you achieve the ascension of consciousness by becoming your own master as a free spirit, a free conscience. You claim your spiritual potential at this very boundary. From then on, you assemble all the universal energies in your constitution. To whichever galaxy you go, you can easily use the energy type of that dimension with your mental power. The sixth dimension is called the dimension of ascension. The seventh dimension comprises celestial knowledge, and the eighth dimension comprises universal knowledge. The final gate of the eighth dimension opens the path of golden light. In each dimension, DNA strands are activated up to the 12th and final dimension, when the 100% perfect divine blueprint is embodied in the prismatic eye of the eternal essence or rainbow body of eternal light. The 9th dimension is the dimension of serenity. The 10th dimension is the dimension of pure light, the pure land. The 11th dimension is the dimension of sound, Altona, the dimension of music. The 12th dimension is the central universe, the only perfect universe, settled in the eternal now moment. All universes in time and space are merely reflections of this perfect universal blueprint. This is also the home of the eternal children, settled in their perfect divine blueprint, whole, perfect, and complete. All personalities in time and space are merely a reflection of their eternal soul essence. From here, these eternal souls project holographic projections of their 12 personalities into 12 dimensions of time and space. Furthermore, they express 12 aspects or soul extensions in each of the 12 dimensions, for a total of 144 soul extensions, which together represent their monad. They view these realities with the eye of their essence, which corresponds to the third eye.
We know within the core of our beings that we are consciousness, multidimensional consciousness. We are conscious sparks of love and light. Spiritually, we know that we are love-light beings, and now, scientifically, we can prove it. Frontier physicist Francis Alpert Popp coined the term biophoton emissions. He proved that quantum processes do take place in biological entities. He was able to show how subatomic particles collide to create photons of light within the physical body, and this light contains information imprinted upon our DNA that facilitates cell communication within our beings. This is a language of light encoded upon our DNA, like our own unique symphony, our own personal signature frequency, our soul song. Scientific research has proven that we are energetic light beings and that photons of light are being emitted from our energy centers and from within the nucleus of our cells. It's being emitted from our DNA. This light is contained from within microtubules that have been called light tubes. These light tubes are within every cell of our being. This is what facilitates cell communication within our bodies. This is encoded light, imprinted with information that is being sent from cell to cell to cell. This encoded light is written in frequency, from a spectrum of low to high frequencies. It is the language of light within our beings, and these frequencies can be tuned into by other conscious beings within the greater field of quantum consciousness. As spiritual human beings filled with light, beaming from our DNA, we can tune into specific points in space-time and even transcend space-time to communicate with beings in other dimensions beyond our own. We can even communicate with the multidimensional aspects of our own being, fragmented into many other dimensions all at once. We can tune into those physical and spiritual incarnations that we are simultaneously experiencing in the eternal now moment. We can tune into their specific frequencies, and within that little sliver, that little bandwidth, that specific channel, we can communicate interdimensionally beyond linear space-time. We can do this simply with the power of our pure intentions. With laser focus, we can direct our intention and use visualization to send thought waves across the quantum field of consciousness anywhere in the cosmos, locally or remotely, for it transcends space-time, and our quantum thought waves travel faster than the speed of light. This is how we share information through quantum waves of encoded light that imprints upon our consciousness and encodes our DNA. That's why when we tune into the multidimensional aspects of ourselves in higher dimensions, it activates dormant DNA, enabling access to higher intelligence, and as such, ignites our innate superhuman capabilities. It also triggers synaptic charges in our brain, bringing more of our brain online. with each and every connection in all of the other realms and dimensions we are simultaneously experiencing all at once in the eternal now moment that transcends and contains space-time. This is how multidimensionality, quantum consciousness, and dormant DNA are connected. Sacred multidimensional wisdom is vibrating in many places of light simultaneously. These spirals of light, these multi-dimensional vortices, are universally unmasking and revealing what has been there all along. You, dear one, have waited in the streams of divine light for this time to incarnate that you have chosen. This time, which you have held in your DNA records within your Akashic timeline, is now. You have traveled across the multiverse to this place called Earth. You hold within you the sacred texts of other solar systems, of other timelines, of other ways of expressing light. And now, you as a light bearer, a way shower, a consciousness evolver, will ascend and become an ascended master for others to herald in this new crystal age of ascension for your brothers and sisters on this earth plane. Step into your divinity, step into self-mastery. Become the radiant love light being to inspire, empower, and enlighten humanity. Now is the time to shine your light and become a leader in the ascension movement. Together, we can activate the divine spark within ourselves and all others and light up this consciousness grid, bringing the 5D matrix online. Let's do this. Now is the time, and this is the way. It's time to activate all of your rays so you can step into the fullest expression of your multi-dimensional self. Are you ready to raise your light quotient to the highest possible level? Are you ready to activate dormant DNA strands and bring more of your brain online? Get ready to activate your superhuman capabilities into telepathy and teleportation. Get ready to fully manifest the cosmic being you've always been, with multiple DNA codes from many different star systems in the galaxy. You are a galactic citizen. It's time to step into your power and express yourself fully.
Now just relax and breathe as we move into your activation. Close your eyes and take some nice deep breaths. Breathe in golden sparkling light and allow it to fill your head, neck, and shoulders. Exhale any shadows like smoke. Inhale golden sparkling light and allow it to flow down your arms and into your hands and fingers. Exhale any shadows. Inhale golden sparkling light and allow it to flow down your chest and into your abdomen. Exhale any smoke. Inhale pure golden light and allow it to flow into your lower abdomen, hips, and pelvis. Exhale any smoke. Inhale golden light and allow it to flow down your legs and into your feet and toes. Exhale any shadows. Now imagine your entire body is illuminating a golden aura of light. Now focus all of your energy and attention on a 6-pointed star 8 inches above your head. This is your soul star, your Merkaba light vehicle. See your consciousness within this vehicle so that you can travel throughout the cosmos. What do you see? Twinkling stars, pulsating nebula, the stellar nurseries, supernovas, red giants, pulsars and quasars, and in the distance, a supermassive black hole at the center of the galaxy with 2 spiraling arms. One spiraling arm expressing the divine masculine energy and the other spiral expressing the creative feminine energy. Imagine speeding toward the center of this black hole, and as you move into the center of oneness, you balance your masculine and feminine energies. When the 2 become one, you are done. As you move into the center of this black hole, imagine sitting in the void, and in this place you experience total oneness with the source. You are at one with all that is, and you experience at-one-ment or atonement. You are the I Am presence. Say to yourself, I am that I am. And then, in the distance, you see a small speck of white light, and you move towards it. As you move faster and faster toward this point of light, it becomes more brilliant. It expands and becomes bigger and brighter until finally you move fully into this brilliant white light, and you become one with it. In this new illuminated reality, you look down at your hands and realize that you have become a light being. You are shimmering with radiant light like a crystalline being, reflecting all the colors of the rainbow. You have become your rainbow body of light. You have become an interdimensional being, expressing all the colors of the rainbow as a crystalline light body in this new reality. In this new paradise called the 5th dimension, rainbows abound and multiple suns radiate brilliant golden light. Massive waterfalls are flowing, and the water sparkles with twinkling lights, and you realize it's liquid consciousness. You realize the entire reality illuminated all around you is flowing with fluid consciousness. Everything is an expression of vibrating consciousness, flowing like an interconnected field, and you are one with it. The sense of oneness here is all-consuming and all-loving. You look around and see other crystalline beings shimmering in the sunlight and smiling back at you. These are your brothers and sisters in the fifth dimension. In this place of unity consciousness, you have total empathy, and you realize they are you and you are them. You feel pure, unconditional love for these light beings, and this gives you a sense of pure joy. Together, you are totally at peace and resonating in perfect harmony. You realize you can telepathically communicate, and you discover that you can teleport through multiple stargates. In this dimension, you are connected to many different realms, and you can traverse the galaxy. You have truly become a galactic citizen with superhuman capabilities. Here you feel at home. You have come home to Nirvana. Welcome to 5D. And so it is, and so be it. Namaste, Starseed. Thank you for tuning in to my video presentation during this extraordinary New Life Expo virtual conference. As you can see, the merging of science and spirituality has inspired my journey, and it is my sincere desire to convey that connection as well. As such, I have created an internet television network based on a genre that came to me during meditation, Sci-Spi, merging science and spirituality. After trademarking this genre, I knew I was being called to create a television network featuring channels and shows hosted by global thought leaders who were spiritually inspired and scientifically minded. Enjoy this video featuring a montage of the channels and shows on our network. Thank you for tuning in to Transcend the Matrix. I invite you to visit my personal website at SuzanneRossWellness.com. There you will find my books, Wake Up and Rise Up, and the tours that I offer in Sedona. along with meditations and activations that you can download. Just use the coupon code transcend10 to get a 10% discount on all of the products and services featured on my website, SuzanneRossWellness.com. Always dedicated to shining the brightest light and holding a vision for the highest love light frequency for all humanity. I send you love and many blessings and leave you with this beautiful verse to inspire your soul. You who are my spirit, my energy, my yearning, how can you recognize me, know me? First, reach yourself, then approach me. If I am your face, then you are my breath, my whim. You who see me when you see you are the one who finds me in you, the one who now is one. The spark in your soul is the yearning within me. That yearning is the one that has uttered hue to you for centuries. If I have brought you into existence, you too have brought me into existence. If you had not been, I would not have been either. If I had not been, you would not have been either. I flowed into you. You looked at me. Like a river, I watered your spirit. And at this moment, you have reached me. Now, you are a station beyond the river. You are with me. You will come out of the ocean and dive into the mist. And you will be with me. The genuine you will, at this moment, break off from me and will be beside me. Then you will salute, send your utterance to the universes. Now you and I are side by side. We are not one inside the other. As until today, you have made me within you live in you. Here fourthly, I too will make live the you within you eternally. And I will render you the sovereign of the universes. From now on, you will perpetuate the fire in your hearth. You will carry out my firman together with your own firman. And at that very moment, you will witness the triumph of the cosmoses. I have given all my energy to you in order to render you the you. And now you will give the hand and me to all the cosmoses. You will receive your power. You will be with me. You will be a light to everyone each instant. I am the one who gives this message. You are the one who kindles the torch of your consciousness light. You are also the one who attains my consciousness. Now we are together. Humanity witnessing me uttering in this way will not be surprised anymore at the things that will happen in the morrows either. This is a beginning. Rejoice in the love light frequency of 5D, the fifth Age of Aquarius. And so it is, and so be it. Namaste.